I just love coming to Shimla. Not because Delhi is dreadful in terms of its air quality, but besides the scenes, Shimla has some beautiful roads to drive on, and this trip was no exception. I drove up in this new G90 BMW 5 Series, the moniker which has been absolutely popular amongst the driving enthusiasts, and I had to bring this up. Now, this is no ordinary 5 Series. Besides the BMW M5, which has been the pinnacle of performance in the 5 Series lineup, there was nothing that was electrifying. Fast forward 2025, here is the 5 Series, which is now electrified and has 600 horsepower. i5 M60, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with the drive. Now, this is indeed a pleasurable experience. I've been doing several kilometers on the twisty roads that connects Kasoli to Dharampur, and I'm just flabbergasted experiencing how beautifully the i5 M60 corners. This car just evokes the emotion of a racing driver. Its chassis is constructed so beautifully. The architecture of how everything is packaged is insane. The steering feed and feedback is it's crispy. Yes, it's an electric car. Yes, a lot of the petrolhead friends that I have are going to be very, very angry at me that I am trying to promote the electric car so much. But the way BMW has engineered this product is just beautiful. Now, the i5 M60 sits wonderfully between the long wheelbase 530 Li and the M5, with the packaging and feature list very close to what you get in the top of the line M5. The accessibility to this car is very close to the 530 Li, which makes it quite brilliant, to be honest. So, out on the twisties in the maximum range mode, the i5 M60 feels very sedate, and because it has rear wheel steering and a shorter wheelbase than the long wheelbase version that's available in India, it does have its maneuverability around the bends sorted very well. The way the rear wheel steering is engineered to make your turns extremely precise without much of roll and pitch, which is also helped thankfully by the stiff suspension setup. This one gets the adaptive suspension, the adaptive M suspension to be exact, as standard, and it's just a joyful experience. Besides being stiff around the corners, keeping the car in a straight and stable position, it also provides very good ride quality. Now, although we are going over some really smooth tarmac, it's like creamy smooth tarmac, which is perhaps very, very good for some supercars as well, which this is too at around the performance figures that BMW has configured for it. It just feels very pliant, which is polar opposite to what you must have experienced with the new 5 Series long wheelbase. This feels like a proper M car. Yes, this is about 100 bhp lower than the M5, which is on sale, but at about a crore less in terms of the price situation, it's just making so much sense. It has incredible amounts of mechanical grip and so much finesse in the chassis to play around with. Now, we are not doing very high speeds. We are at about 50 to 60 kilometers an hour around these roads, which are pristine in terms of their tarmac situation. But just look at how beautifully it corners. It just goes like a chameleon on a mango tray. Absolutely delightful. Not a single squeak from the tires, not a percentage of underconfident chassis, which most of the luxury cars have. Of course, at this price point, when you are considering a high performance luxury sedan, there are plenty options. But how the i5, with the kind of weight it has, that's about 2.3 tons, it sort of sheds away all of that weight so beautifully and makes you feel you're driving a hatchback with so much horsepower, is just insane. This is pure driving pleasure indeed. This is what is the peak of BMW 5 Series in India today. It's not the 5 Series, which has now been built to allure the 50 plus year olds sitting at the back seat talking on the phone to their vendors and their clients. Perhaps the M5 is too ostentatious with its high power figures, hybrid powertrain, and excessive amount of weight as well. It is this, the i5 M60, which is the sweet spot of the 5 Series range. And it's such a beautiful car to drive. It's best driven at half the speed. Even if you want to go full Monty, it just is brilliant. Now, I can go on and on telling you about how wonderful the i5 M60 is to drive around these roads. Shimla is at its best during off season. Very few tourists, emptier roads, and the scenes are just breathtaking. And these highways, which have a splatter of snow on the side, make it look even better to drive on. How does the i5 look when you see it from the outside? Let's talk about that. You don't really do rough roading or off roading with an i5 M60, but we were brave enough to do that. Here, I'm going to talk to you about certain elements of the exteriors and what makes it one of the most beautiful 5 Series available in the current scheme of things and in this generation. This is very reminiscent to the 5 Series long wheelbase and very close to packaging to the M5 that's now available in India. Now, to start off with, you've got this massive blacked out grille, which is not a grille, it's a blank slat here in the front with M badging to denote that this is the M60. Massive air dam at the bottom. They are functional, they have aerodynamic ability. Over here, you have real air dams that create a vortex around the tires, cooling down the brakes and creating a good amount of downforce as well. This car is running on 20-inch M alloy wheels that are fitted to 245/40 tires. Not the best specification to do rough roading, but because the suspension is supremely comfortable, we were able to do that. And with that sort of ground clearance, let me show you. It's perhaps 1.5 fist tall. You shouldn't be doing rough roading or off-roading in this car, but if you're brave enough, this can be a very comfortable partner over there. Onto the sides, the standard wheelbase i5 looks beautiful. You get this winged rear view mirror, reminiscent of the M5. From the side, it does look properly menacing. And with this standard wheelbase format, it is quite a wonderful car. The 5 moniker over here and the blacked out window lines. If you come at the back, what you miss out on are real exhaust pipes, which again are a giveaway that this is an all-electric car. M60 badging over here, and since it's an electric car, it has a massive boot as well. Also, you have some space under the boot to keep your knickknacks. I kept driving the i5 M60 for long hours. I just didn't want to stop. It's that beautiful a car that BMW has made for the enthusiasts and family guys alike. This might not be as sharp as the M5, but it is quick. It can do 100 kmph under 3.5 seconds if you're brave enough. But the main content about this car is that it's comfortable and practical for a family of 4 or 5 if you are not horizontally challenged. The even better part is that amongst all the 5 series that are available, it looks by far the most beautiful of them all. It's not overly bulky, it's got the creases and the muscle at the right places, and that's why I love it. Now, I've spoken a good lot about how the i5 M60 drives on the highway in the city through the twisties of the mountains and through the rough stuff. Now is the time to show you how it is to live with from a POV of a driver. Now, to start off with, we've got the key over here, which is finished in gloss black with the M colors on the key. You have the BMW logo, which is also used as a lock button. You have the unlock button, the boot release, and the favorites key over here. Now, when you unlock the car, it just is quite a functional door handle over here, which is a flip door handle, which a lot of Indians sort of hate. You get this in the BMW 5 Series, the i5, and also in one of the favorite cars of the M lineup, which is the M2. Now, once you get on the inside, you're greeted by this beautiful red interior, which is an option in the i5 M60, and it just looks fantastic. Let's start off with the door card. We got this leather door card over here with soft primary touch points. You've got the window controls over here, your seat memory controls, your lock unlock buttons, which are haptic buttons over here. Massive bottle holders in the door cards. You've got a 1.25 liter bottle over here. You've got a place to keep two little water bottles over here as well. Once you step inside the cabin, you are greeted by this wonderful curved display. And this is the actual curved display. This is not some fakery that's going on in terms of the curvature. This is an actual curved display. You place the key over here, start the button, and you're greeted by this Hans Zimmer emotion music that starts off the car. Now, onto the iDrive system. This is one of the most intuitive iDrive systems to use in the current generation. A lot of people have been cribbing about it. Once you get used to all the features in this iDrive system, it is a breeze to use on a daily basis. You also have a very functional rotary knob over here to control your iDrive, which has a beautiful knurled finish surrounding it. You also have a volume rocker over here, which also has a knurled finish over here. I'm not a huge fan of this uh, gear selector, which is like a tongue which you keep on pulling up and down, and a park button over here with auto hold function. Now, this is a fully gloss black, glassed out button situation, which also has haptic feedback. Very good to use. It takes a bit of time to get used to, but it's very, very good to use. To start off with, you have a storage space over here where I've placed my sunglasses, my moisturizer, and my contact lens with the cable for my phone. You've got two USB-C ports to charge your mobile phone. You've got a wireless charger over here, another place to keep your mobile phone over there. You've got your air conditioning vent controls, which are mechanical, although they are a little flimsy to use, but it's just for the first time. Once you get used to it, again, super, super easy to use. Very well concealed vents on the inside. You can't see them actually. Very well executed. Now, onto the touchscreen infotainment, you've got a lot of features over here. You also have an interior camera where you can talk to your friends who are sitting at the back while you're stationary. You can also take pictures if you're smiling. So it takes your pictures, and it also takes a video of you while you're driving, or you're taking the reactions of the people sitting with you while you're launching this car. Also, it is being used as a CCTV whilst you're sitting somewhere and you really want to see if you've left something on the passenger seat or the driver's seat. You can see it through the BMW app, which is quite handy. It also takes a video of the outside and on the inside, which we'll come to later, but a very, very interesting feature indeed. You also get wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as standard, and this is quite a wide uh, Apple CarPlay map situation. You get quite a lot of view over here. Now, things which really make a difference. Now, this M steering wheel is pretty thick and is very good to hold while you're doing quick sprints from the red light, or you're going through the twisties on the highway. The steering wheel grips really well. It's got beautifully soft leather, flat bottom as usual in most sports cars. You also get this M boost button, which gives you a 10-second boost while you're launching, or you want to do quick overtakes with another sports car which might be on the road, because this thing has 600 horsepower, which is insane. You also get one of my favorite audio brands fitted as standard in the i5 M60 that's supplied in India, the Bowers and Wilkins system. It's got a 665 watt sound system which sounds insanely good, and it is very close to my favorite Volvo XC90's sound system, which is again class apart, which a lot of you car enthusiasts would know. This particular unit gets the carbon package, so you get carbon fiber weave embossed onto the dashboard. It moves all the way over there, and I love this union where this part of the carbon fiber and this part of the carbon fiber meets. So the alignment of each and everything is perfect. Perfect. Such a beautiful cabin, and these Bordeaux red interiors, these seats, oh god, supremely comfortable. And as you can see, it's got the extendable under thigh support, which again is a mechanical setup to adjust. You can also keep your sunglass holders inside it. You also have a sizable glove box where you can keep your documents and other things, and it also has a felt lining on the inside so you don't scratch any of the things. That's about it in the front cabin of the BMW i5. Let's get on the back seat and tell you more about how different is it from the long wheelbase 5 Series that's currently being sold in India. Alright, so the backseat situation of the i5 M60 is pretty brilliant. For context, I'm 5 feet 8 inches tall, and I've got tons of knee room and good amount of headroom as well. I don't know why BMW resorted to a long wheelbase version when this generation of the 5 Series has quite a bit of legroom on offer. Most of the Indian males are at an average of my height. Even a 6-footer would be very comfortable sitting here at the back. Good amount of knee room, and this seat has been positioned as per my seating preference. You have this small slot to attach a rear entertainment screen with a Type-C USB port. You've got 2 USB ports over here to charge your mobile phones. It's got the quad zone climate control system, so both the seats at the back get their individual temperature controls. You got an armrest over here with 2 cup holders. You've got a nice and squishy armrest on the door cards. You've got your speakers over here inside a metallic grille. You also have this massive panoramic sunroof which filters in quite a lot of light, making this cabin feel very airy, and the position of the air vents over here for the rear passengers is done really well. This is a very comfortable cabin indeed, and I'm still questioning BMW's entire project of extending the wheelbase of the 5 Series, because this is perfectly alright. For a person who would be chauffeured around at the back in a 5 Series, this is all you need. You don't need an extended wheelbase. So the i5 in the standard wheelbase format works perfect. So now we're going to test the 0 to 100 timing of the i5 M60. Now mind you, we're doing this test on an empty and closed road. This is closed for public. No animal or human being is on the road right now, and this road is not being in use currently. So we'll switch to the sport mode, which stiffens up the suspension, hardens up the steering, makes it a little more involving. The seat bolster sort of hugs you tightly, letting you know that shit's about to go down. Press hard on the brakes, press hard on the accelerator, press M boost, so sport boost activates, and off you go. 100. That was invigorating. It was so insane, like that the blood goes from your cranium to your butt cheeks. I'm pretty sure we've broken BMW's own testing record. It's perhaps they undervalue their own tests, or they test it on grass, perhaps. This thing is quick. This thing is very, very quick. So let's sum it up about the BMW i5 M60. Besides having 600 bhp on tap and be able to do 100 kilometers an hour from a standstill under 3.5 seconds, it is a very comfortable car which is packaged to the brim with features which will make your life easy on a daily basis. It is packed with everything that you would seek to have in a high performance saloon. This undercuts the M5, which has about 100 bhp more, by 1 crore rupees at 1.2 crore rupees on road in New Delhi. It is a compelling package. Nothing is close to it in terms of packaging, performance, and poise. And for that, this is our car of the year for 2024. Nothing is close to it. Just nothing.